So far in this chapter, Krishna described reaction-free work, karma yoga, performing your prescribed duties but not incurring any reactions. So first 48 verses more or less focused on this one theme. Now Krishna is making a transition from that karma yoga or reaction-free work into Jnana yoga, and from there he will come to the Brahman platform and pure bhakti. So in the next 6-7 verses Krishna will make this transition. So there are two types of sannyasis. In the beginning Krishna is defining who is a sannyasi and who is a tyagi, right? Both are same. So one type of sannyasi is the neophyte sannyasi, or a sannyasi who is still on a sadhaka stage. Okay. He gives up the doership mentality in work and attachment to the results of work. Fine. So he is a karma yogi only, but he can still be called a sannyasi because he has the spirit of renunciation. When that sannyasi perfects his sadhana over some time, then he gives up the work itself completely. Fine. So a sannyasi who is working with the spirit of renunciation is also a sannyasi, but he is younger, neophyte, sadhaka. But once you perform your prescribed duties with detachment for a long time, you can come to a stage where you need not work only. Means you develop knowledge, you develop detachment, you become mature in your detachment, you become mature in your knowledge. Initially you are practicing detachment, and by that you are slowly cultivating knowledge, you are gathering knowledge. But once you are mature in that practice of karma yoga, then you can even abandon the work itself. But prematurely renouncing work without having knowledge and detachment is not recommended. That we have discussed in the initial 6 chapters, nothing new here. Okay, we already discussed in great detail in the initial chapters. So initially it is recommended that you perform your prescribed duties and do them with detachment, and by this you will gather knowledge. So once you perform like that, when you become very mature in your practice of karma yoga, you need not perform the prescribed duty itself, you can give up the work, because you are already mature in your detachment and knowledge. Then you will become a Jnana yogi. Fine. So, and when you are mature in your Jnana, Jnana is basically knowledge of matter and spirit. Knowledge of matter, material body, spirit, the spirit soul, and the supreme soul, and the relationship between you and the supreme soul. Fine. So once you understand it by cultivating knowledge, by becoming mature in that Jnana, you will actually want to act in that relationship, and acting in that relationship is bhakti yoga. Understand? Do your prescribed duties dutifully with the detachment, you will attain knowledge. Then by being mature in your knowledge and detachment, you can give up the work itself. But when you are very mature in knowledge, very advanced in knowledge and detachment, and your knowledge is basically knowledge of the Supreme Lord and yourself and this material world. So then you understand and realize your relationship with God. Then you want to act based on that relationship. Means you want to render service to the Lord in bhakti yoga. Fine? This is the transition. So now 49th sloka, Krishna speaks about the perfect stage of sannyasa. I told about two kinds of sannyasis, right? One is initial sannyasi who is still doing work. But when you are mature, you can give up work also. So Krishna describes 49th sloka. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sannyasena adhigacchati. So Krishna says, asakta buddhi sarvatra. Asakta buddhi means being detached from all material objects. Sarvatra means all material objects, be detached. And jitatma, your mind should be under control. And vigata spraha, no material desires at all, by complete renunciation. So that is real sannyasa. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vegata spraha naishkarmya siddhim paramam. Naishkarmya siddhi. So naishkarmya means reaction free work. Siddhi means perfection in such reaction free work. Fine. So that is sannyasena adhigacchati. That is the highest stage of sannyasa. That is the perfect stage of sannyasa. Is it clear? One is practice stage, next is perfect stage. Then in the 50th sloka, Krishna says, Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya para. So here Krishna says, in such mature stage of sannyasa, you can know how to attain Brahman. Krishna says, having attained such perfection by cessation of all work, one realizes Brahman. So Krishna introduced this reaction-free work. After that, giving up work itself. Okay, having attained perfection in cessation of all work, one realizes Brahman, which is the highest stage of knowledge called Jnana. So now hear about the process of realizing that Brahman. So in mature knowledge, mature Jnana, you can understand Brahman. Fine. So Krishna spoke about the final stage, perfect stage in 49 and 50th slokas. How to attain that stage described in 49 and 50, Krishna speaks next 3 slokas, 51, 52, 53. The flow is clear? 49 and 50 are describing the perfect stage of sannyasa where one is eligible to know Brahman. But how to attain that stage? Krishna says, Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayams tyaktva ragadvesho vyudasya cha viviktasevi laghvasi yatavakaya manasah dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritah ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimujya nirmamah shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So in these 3 shlokas, Krishna described 12 stages or 12 ways which are a part of the process of attaining Brahman. Okay, this is called Brahma Bhuta stage. What are the various aspects of attaining Brahman? 1. Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto. One should be purified in intelligence. Buddhi should be vishuddha. It's very pure. Intelligence has to be pure, first quality. Second, dhrityamanam niyamya cha. One should control the mind with dhriti, determination. Third quality. Shabdadin vishayams tyaktva. Vishaya means sense objects. Tyaktva. Give up sense objects, including shabda. Shabda means the sound or music is the sense object of ears. Give it up. Next, other things. Good food items, fragrance, nice objects to see. Means undue sense gratification is not there. Yeah, senses need some kind of nourishment, that is fine. But one should not unduly indulge in sense gratification. Then ragadvesho yudasya cha. One is being freed from attachment and repulsion, raga and dvesha. Okay, one should give them up. Then vivikta sevi, one should live in a secluded place. Laghvasi, one should eat very little. Okay. Yatavak kaya manasaha, control one's speech, body and mind. Okay. 8th quality. Dhyana yoga paro nityam, one should be absorbed in meditating on the Lord. Dhyana yoga paro. So this is absorption in meditation on the Lord. Next, vairagyam samupashritaha. One should take complete shelter of vairagya or detachment. It's just a list of qualities. Next, ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham. Okay, one should be devoid of ahankara, false ego, balam, false strength, darpam, false pride, kama, krodha means lust and anger, parigraha means material possessions. One should just give them up. Next, 11th quality. Vimuchya nirmamaha. Okay. One should be freed from false proprietorship. Shanta. One should be very peaceful. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Such a person can attain Brahman. If you have all these qualities, then you can attain Brahman, or the stage of self-realization as described in verse number 49 and 50. Clear? Especially 50. So in this stage of Brahma Bhuta, one is completely devoid of all contamination of material modes. One transcends modes and becomes fully joyful and peaceful. He is a pure soul. He is Prashantatma. Brahma Bhutaha Prasantatma. Prasannatma means he is not agitated by any sense objects which are products of material modes, because he has transcended modes. He is beyond the modes. Okay, that Brahma Bhuta stage is described in the 54th sloka. And how to go beyond that Brahma Bhuta stage and come to this bhakti stage, that is also described there. So Brahma Bhuta means, Brahma Bhuta stage or Brahman realization here in this context is realizing that you are not a product of matter, you are spirit soul. Brahman. Brahma is spiritual. You are spiritual in nature. You are not material in nature. So, coming out of the influence of modes, if you realize your spiritual nature, then you are on Brahma Bhuta stage. But once you realize your spiritual nature, you should act according to that spiritual nature. Is it not? That is Bhakti Yoga. That Krishna describes in the 54th sloka. Brahma Bhutaha Prasannatma. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Nashocati na kankshati. Nashocati na kankshati. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. Madbhaktim labhate param. Madbhaktim labhate param. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Okay. One who is situated in this way, Brahma Bhuta stage. What that way? That way means what? The 12 items that Krishna described in the last 3 slokas. In the last 3 slokas, Krishna described 12 things, right? So by doing all these things, you come to Brahma Bhuta stage. So Brahma Bhuta, if you come to that stage, you are Prasannatma. You are very peaceful and joyful. Na shochati na kankshati. You will not have any lamentation. Na kankshati. You will not have any material desires. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. You will be able to see all the living entities on an equal spiritual plane. Okay. Mad bhaktim labhate param. At that stage, your bhakti becomes very easy. So Krishna bhakti is easily attainable in that stage. So that stage is beyond the modes, material modes. And one attains pure devotional service unto me or prema bhakti at that stage. So, means you come to a stage, it's not about impersonal Brahman realization actually speaking. Okay. You want to merge into impersonal Brahman. That's not what Krishna is just talking about so elaborately here. So here in this stage, Krishna is speaking a stage which is beyond the material modes. Okay. The Brahma Bhuta stage of self-realization or liberation is the final aspiration of an impersonalist. Because an impersonalist who wants impersonal realization, he will stop there. But Krishna's point is not that. Otherwise, Krishna would not have spoken the last line. Mad bhaktim labhate param also he said. Don't stop there. Yes, you have transcended the modes. That's wonderful. Amazing. But don't stop there. You are a Brahman realized person. That's fine. But come to Bhagavan realization also. Mad bhaktim labhate param. Come to bhakti. So the Brahma Bhuta stage of self-realization or liberation is the final aspiration of an impersonalist. But bhakti is beyond Brahman realization also. A personalist or a pure devotee aspires to do bhakti or pure devotional service unto Krishna. A devotee is already in the stage of liberation or oneness with the absolute truth. And without being one with the Lord on the spiritual platform, one cannot render service to Him. So being one with the Lord on a spiritual platform means basically realizing your spiritual nature. The Lord is spiritual. Lord's body is spiritual. Lord's activities are spiritual. Lord's names and forms, everything is spiritual. Similarly, we are also spiritual entities. We are not these material bodies. We are covered by this two material bodies, one gross body, one subtle body, but we are not that. We are beyond this. So that you realize, completely you realize, and you start acting on it, on that platform. That action on spiritual platform is bhakti yoga. But just coming to that platform and not acting is just Brahman realization. That's what impersonal Brahman wants. Impersonalist people want. So they just want to come to a stage of non-material. It's not, you are not just a non-material entity, you are a spiritual entity. And you are a spiritual entity that is realized by them, but they do not engage in a spiritual activity. Being a spiritual entity, you should perform spiritual activity, but they don't believe in activity. I am spiritual, and realizing that gives me ananda, sufficient. Now once you realize that, you should act on that platform, that gives you more ananda. Okay, what action you are supposed to do? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Smaranam, Padasevanam, etc. etc. That you can do while being in the material body without having all these realizations also. So our practice stage and our perfect stage both are same for devotees. So now Krishna made a transition between Brahma Bhuta stage and Bhakti stage. Now by attaining Bhakti alone, one can realize Krishna. That Krishna will speak in the 55th shloka. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyascha tatvatah tato mam tatvato gnatva vishate tadanantaram. One can understand Krishna as he is only by bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati, Krishna says. Yavanyascha tatvatah. Tatvatah means in truth. One can truly understand Krishna only by bhakti. Tato mam tatvato gnatva. And when one knows me fully in truth, then vishate tadanantaram, he can enter the spiritual world after giving up this material body. So if one is fully conscious of Krishna, if one fully understands Krishna in truth, and such a person can go back to Godhead. Same thing what Krishna said earlier. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Same thing he is repeating here. By bhakti only you can understand Krishna perfectly. You may not understand Krishna completely, but at least you will understand Krishna correctly. Your understanding of Krishna is never complete. It can be incomplete, no problem, but it should not be incorrect. Fine. So you correctly understand Krishna. The Supreme Lord Krishna is not revealed to everyone. He and his expansions or incarnations cannot be understood by scholarship or speculation. He is known only by bhakti, and that bhakti is better performed under the guidance of a bhakta. Clear? So we completed this section also, and this is confidential knowledge. The transition between we made a transition from reaction free work to Jnana Yoga, which gives you Brahman realization. And we made a transition from Brahman realization to Bhagavan realization by Bhakti Yoga. So all that we discussed, this is called confidential knowledge. And Krishna will describe pure bhakti in the next 11 verses. So he brought the whole discussion till Bhakti Yoga, right? He began from Karma Yoga, then he came to Jnana, then he is coming to Bhakti. Now he will discuss elaborately this pure bhakti in the next 11 verses.